over there. So big shout out to you and to the entire California Almond Board for making this happen. My friends, welcome. It is now 12:30 and it is time to rock and roll, and welcome back. My name is Todd Durkin. If you have not had the chance to be at one of the first 2 webinars in our 4-part webinar series, this is webinar number 3, powered by my friends over at California Almonds. And my friends, this is my manifesto. This is what it's all about, because as I bring this to you live right now, I want to change your life. We're going to pour into you, and I want you to ask questions. I want you to feel about what can you receive to make sure you give back to your community. Because as a group of fire-breathing dragons, as mind-right maniacs, what I want today to be about is all marketing and branding, and what can we do to make sure that we do everything possible to create the impact that we so desire. So if I have not had the opportunity to meet you, my gym, Fitness Quest 10 here in sunny San Diego, California, January 2000, I started. No clients, no money, no business plan. Over 20 years of experience, guys. It's very interesting because I'm right with you. I'm in the trenches, and right now as leaders, we all need to step up and make sure we navigate these stormy waters that we're all in. So I'm in the trenches with you. I'm in the foxhole right now, and there's a bio there if you want to go through it. I'm certainly not going to talk about myself, but if you haven't read my book, Get Your Mind Right, or you haven't listened to the podcast, please feel free to do that. I want to pour into you for the next hour. A couple of housekeeping rules today, webinar guidelines. Please, you're going to be muted, but I want you to talk. I want you to chat. In the chat box, if anything, right now, please, I want to see what city, state, and country are you tuning in from. What city, state, and country. And if you have any comments, your fellow fire-breathing dragons right now can see the chat box. But what they can't see is the Q&A. Only Trina and I see the Q&A. And at the end of today's program, in about 45 minutes from now, we want to go through as many of the questions possible. So please, at any time in the question and answer box, please feel free to share that right now, because that's going to be really important. As a matter of fact, a few things as we go through this. Again, I want to thank the Almond Board of California for months ago saying, hey, Todd, we want to make sure, because of what you do to help create impact in our industry, we want to make sure that we can reach more fitness professionals, more trainers, more coaches, like people who are committed and convicted to change lives. So a huge shout out to the Almond Board of California for sponsoring this Fueling Fitness webinar series and supporting all fitness pros. As a matter of fact, I want to introduce right now Jenny Heap, the dietitian with California Almonds. So I'm passing the ball to her. And as a matter of fact, I believe someone from last week's episode is about to win almonds for an entire year. Jenny, I'm hopping over to you.
Hey, thanks, Todd. So we are loving this webinar series, and we hope that all of you are feeling just as inspired as we are. So if you were on last week's calls, Todd is absolutely right. You already know that we'll be doing a random drawing for a giveaway to give away. So one of you US-based fitness pros will win a year's supply of almonds to give away to a client of your choice. And I'm here today to announce the winner from last week, Thursday's webinar with Andrew Simpson. Are we ready?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Drum roll.
The winner from last Thursday is Abby Maelstrom.
Abby Maelstrom, fantastic.
And Abby, I hope that I pronounced your name right, but congratulations.
Love it.
So, as a reminder, we'll be announcing the winner of today's drawing tomorrow. During tomorrow's webinar, and we'll hold our final drawing then. So you still have 2 chances to hear your name called for that drawing.
Fantastic.
And Todd, we know that you are an almond lover, and for
good
reason. Almonds are a great go-to for an ideal pre- and post-workout snack to keep you fueled up for fitness. So whether your clients are weekend warriors or if they're true athletes just training for that triathlon, you know that a nutrient-rich diet is essential for both performance and recovery. So with 6 grams of plant protein, 4 grams of fiber in each serving, almonds can really help you go the distance. So Todd, I also want to remind everyone that we're offering a Fueling Fitness tin kit to all U.S. fitness professionals. It includes 25 almond tins filled with almonds, along with an educational piece for you to share with your fitness clients. And this handout actually covers pre- and post-workout snack ideas. So it's a really practical tool for your clients and all those who are exercising with you guys. So again, the information on how to order your tin kit is coming with the post-series survey this week. So don't miss that email. And with that, Todd, I will hand it back to you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jenny. Hey, as we get ready to rock and roll here again, right now, if you're on this live, hit up some social media. Tag at California Almonds. They're making this happen. Hit up at Trina Gray. Hit up at Todd Durkin because I will share everything. It all goes down in the DM, and I'm going to take a look at what you have today. And before I get started, I have a PSA, a public service announcement for all you trainers, coaches, and fit pros. Right now, as we get into marketing and branding, there's something I want to talk about. Some trainers, some coaches, some folks are scared and fearful of all that's going on right now in today's times. Acknowledge it, don't live in it. Right now, stress is at an all-time high for our clients, for our members, for some of us. Right now, I want you to acknowledge the stress, but I also want to make sure that we all do something about it, that we're training, we're eating, we're snacking, we're getting our minds right on a daily basis. Trainers, coaches, if there's ever been a time right now that you have to live your purpose, you have to live your conviction, it is now. Right now, the world needs leaders like you to step up. Leaders like me and you that are going to step up and lead our communities, lead our tribe, lead this industry. And I'm calling all of you as we go through today's webinar right now. This is a rally cry that the strong are going to survive, the strong are going to raise up, the strong are going to get educated and motivated and inspired, so that we, as we come together today with Trina, that we are going to make sure that our purpose, the reason why you and I got into this industry, whether it was 25 years ago or whether it was a year ago or whether it was a month ago, is that there's never been a better time to be a fitness pro, to be a trainer or coach, to change lives than right now. As a matter of fact, we are positioned to make the biggest change in the history of the world in this industry, but you got to be strong. You got to be tough. And I hope that I can breathe some life into you today. I hope that Trina can inspire you today and give you everything that you need. A few things to focus on as that we are speaking. Number one, remember, it's always about gratitude. Find gratitude. What is it you're grateful for today? Who are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? The one thing I keep saying to myself is, just like yesterday when they said, oh, no indoor training in Cali, guess what? The sun's coming up tomorrow. I can count on the sun coming up tomorrow, and I can count on the sun going down tonight. Matter of fact, Trina's got a great view of that sunset right out there in Lake Michigan. Remind yourself to surround yourself with people who are going to lift you up and allow you to stay in gratitude, because right now that's the one thing you can control. The third thing and the last thing is just mindset. We got this. Trainers, coaches, I'm speaking to all of you right now. I'm preaching to you right now. We got this. And I'm convicted here as I stand in my home office right now is that we got this. And as a band of brothers and sisters, with all of you right now and my friends over at California Almonds, together we'll come together because we got people all around us. Iron sharpens iron. We got this. Now, I'm going to pour into you today with education and knowledge and things that we have done and lessons learned. But let me tell you what, we got to stay in the here and the now. We can't have time for a pity party. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. What we have to do is, hey, there's going to be doers, there's going to be watchers. We've got to make sure that we're doing. And if there's ever a time to remain calm, poised, under control, it's right now. As a simple reminder, let's continue to take care of ourselves. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, whether it be with training, with meditation, with yoga, with eating right, then we can't be great for our communities. We can't be great for our tribes. We got to continue to feed our souls so that we can serve our communities. And then most of all, make sure the people who are in your life that you're most grateful for, that you tell them today, I love you, I'm sorry, I love you, I'm sorry, whatever it is, because as coaches and trainers, we got to show up. We got to show up proud and ready to go. So can I get an amen on that? Is everyone fired up today? So Trina, I'm sorry, I just had to do a little PSA. I was pumped up. I was driving from look at all these amen, amen. Oh, everyone coming in the chat box right now. I'm like, I just needed to bring some heat because I was driving from the field today. I'm like, man, I love what I do. Thank goodness that I was out there in the field. I was at Fitness Quest 10 and I'm fired up. So without further ado, Trina, welcome to today's show. Man.
Oh, Todd, I'm fired up. It's hard to sit at a desk right now, but I know that we'll pour our energy out through our content today, so I'm happy to be here.
Well, let me make sure I give you the proper introduction. Folks, if you have not met Trina Gray, you need to meet Trina Gray, because Trina Gray has her fingerprints on so many things. She's one of the most highly respected fitness professionals in the world, and she's a national presenter who inspires greatness in so many people in many different sectors within fitness. Audiences say her enthusiasm is infectious and her stories are real and relatable. She draws from a deep well of experience. She's created not one, but two million-dollar businesses from scratch, an award-winning health club in a small community called Alpena, Michigan, and an online fitness coaching team across the U.S. and Canada. Trina packaged her expertise into what's now called Team Rockstar Fit, and she has this coaching business. But let me tell you what, she is leading women and coaching women to incredible levels in all areas of their life, as moms, as entrepreneurs, as fitness professionals. And man, she's had, was it Trina with Team Beachbody? She was recognized as one of the top entrepreneur in the entire organization, with amongst 300,000 coaches. She was numero uno. And I often call her Wonder Woman. So if you have not met her, you'll realize why. She's very focused. She's extremely a high performer, and she works very, very hard. And just so you know, Trina is also one of my closest friends. I've known her for over 13 years. She's presented at 19 of my 19 3.5 mentorships. Every single mentorship I've had, she's presented because she's that good. She's also the person behind Idea World, the Club and Studio Summit. The Club and Studio Summit that's coming up in August that all of you should be a part of. She's the one who creates and manifests all of that. I can go on and on and on about the accolades, but she's a mom of Jade and Colt, two great kids who I know. And Trina, welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Your introductions are always so generous, just as you are. So your words are generous and kind, and so is your friendship for many years. I have loved being able to partner with Team Beachbody, with Idea, and really be, it all launched from being a founding member of your mastermind group, where I learned so many skills and went and applied them to my career. So I'm happy to pay it forward and be a part of this panel today to pay forward some of the simple things that have worked for me over the years.
Well, I know you have a lot of great content to share today. And folks, if you have any questions for us, make sure you start asking them now, because we're going to get a lot. And I want to make sure that my team right over here, I have Julie on my left. I have California Almonds. They're sifting through the chat box now. They're going through the Q&A. So start them coming now. And yeah, what the focus? You must have listened to my podcast. Trina is the one. The WTF. What the focus is going on around here. So, hey, what are you going to leave today with? Growing your personal brand, growing your corporate brand, whatever your brand is, we're going to define that. So without further ado, please make sure whatever your biggest and most important questions on marketing and branding, we're trying to stay specific on it. Tomorrow, I'll go into creating the hybrid model in fitness with my man, Jeff Bristol. Today, I'm going to really talk marketing and branding. How can you enhance your brand and go to the next level in your life? How can you build your brand and do amazing things? So, Trina, let's talk about this. How do you start building your personal brand? How did you start building your personal brand?
Yeah, I mean, one piece of advice that jumped in my head this morning, Todd, when I was thinking about this conversation we're going to have today, is that some advice I heard from a mentor that was one of your mentors as well. I was at a conference where Allie Brown was a speaker, and she said, before you decide to go out and create your own personal brand, there's so many things I know you and I can touch on today, but this is one really good point. She said, make sure you create a red hot market where you are. So for me, what that meant, and maybe how that will translate to other trainers and fit pros on the line, is I had to be really, really good where I was in my own zip code, with my own clients, with my own team. I had to be rock solid and red hot market where I was, really to earn the permission to build a personal brand above and beyond that, or outside of my zip code. So there's one quick answer: to be really good where you are, thrive where you're planted, red hot market, so you have credibility, so you have something to go out and teach and train on.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. And so you all know and you understand, even at Fitness Quest 10, guys, when you look at Trina or myself, I have my corporate brand, Todd Durkin Enterprises. I started with Fitness Quest 10. I didn't have a brand. I didn't have a business. So I started a business. I poured into that for years and years and years. It often takes what Malcolm Gladwell, 10 years or 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. When you start building a brand, sometimes that morphs into several brands. Today, when we talk, realize that I have my brand, Fitness Quest 10, that encompasses 35 teammates / employees and hundreds of people that we impact in the physical, the mental, the emotional, and even the spiritual world. And outside of that, so that you know, that's morphed into speaking and education in my mastermind group. That's the corporate side. That has taken years, close to a dozen years to kind of to craft and create that. So today when we're speaking, I'm going to speak about both the personal brand as well as your brick and mortar brand. If you have brick and mortar brand, you do not need brick and mortar to be successful. Let me repeat, you do not need brick and mortar to be successful, but you may want it. For me, it's part of my DNA. It's part of what's made me who I am. But today, you may not want brick and mortar. Now, Trina, okay, she has Bay Athletic Club in the Bay Urban, and she has 2 locations in Alpena, Michigan. But she also has her quote corporate brand or her personal brand as well, Trina Gray Fitness. So, Trina, anything to acknowledge her? Because I think sometimes people think I want to have my personal brand, but you could have a personal brand or you could have a brick and mortar brand as well.
Yeah, and that's, great differentiation there, Todd. That in this presentation today, we're going to talk to you about both. So we're going to talk to you about if you have a business brand might be bricks and mortar, you have your own studio, or you have a business brand where you run local boot camps, or you're a local yoga instructor, or you train clients in home. That's all a business brand. Then we're going to talk personal brand, where it's you wanting to kind of launch your name, your face, your teachings, your expertise into the marketplace in a different way. So to answer the direct questions on the slide, like when was the right time? For me, it was when I had something thriving locally. So it was a full year of diving into my health clubs, Bay Athletic Club. A year, it was only though, 1 year into it where I decided to launch into starting to create a personal brand, which we'll talk about in a moment. Why did I want to create a personal brand? Because I had passion and expertise and energy to share outside of Alpena, Michigan. So my club can't pick up and move on a trailer. My club isn't a franchise. My club can't impact people in California unless I take my expertise from that club, package it up to help people in California. So the personal brand is a way to launch outside of your zip code. It's different ways to serve people in the industry, and I built it in the ways that I'm going to show you next.
Yeah. And as we talk personal brand, I think sometimes nowadays, especially with all that's going on, the pivoting that's happening, I want to acknowledge everyone that's doing an amazing job with that. Sometimes people think because you have an Instagram account or a Snapchat or a TikTok or a Facebook that you have your own personal brand. It takes a lot of work to have a brand and to make sure that brand can grow, which is why I want to talk about growing your brand. My personal brand kind of grew by mistake. It truly grew by mistake because I was asked to speak at a corporate location back in 2003. I wasn't a professional speaker. Next thing I knew, I'm speaking in front of a couple hundred people, and I actually loved it. Now, I wasn't very good at it. I really wasn't. I actually had to hire a speaking coach. I had to hire a speaking coach so I could become better at it. And the next thing I knew, I started to really grow and blossom. So that's part of my story. But when you look at your personal brand, what are you looking to grow in your brand as well? Trina, let's talk about this slide right here.
All right. So Todd, back when I was first a club owner, so I've had my clubs, to put this in perspective, I've had my 2 health clubs in Alpena for 14 years. So this is a full service, medically based, huge health club, and then a second personal training studio, indoor training studio. So 2 health clubs, had those for 14 years. A year into it, I decided to start branching off into my personal brand. So to differentiate, the clubs are Bay Athletic Club, Bay Urban Fitness. My personal brand became me speaking in the industry. So personal brand doesn't have to be you going direct to consumer, although in your example, you creating books and podcasts for consumers, you have that market. I have stayed, my personal brand is to serve the fitness industry. So I want to put that out there to people that a personal brand doesn't have to be that you're going direct to the public or that you're creating your own workouts for people to buy from you. Like there's different ways to build a personal brand. I built my personal brand to serve the fitness industry more. So a year into having my health clubs, I became really good at this thing called corporate wellness. And it was back before many people were doing it beyond pedometers or blood tests and blood draws. Everyone was kind of doing some pretty basic insurance-driven stuff. And I took a different approach to it. I combined my passion and my love for group fitness with the idea of accountability of a boot camp in a workplace. And I just said, oh, let's take these group fitness principles of people encouraging others and being a part of a tribe. Let me take this boot camp where you're accountable to somebody and there's a specific amount of time. And let's take this idea of dropping this in a workplace. And there was born the Corporate Fit Challenge. So creating a program locally that I turned into a product nationally was my number one way to start building my personal brand. So I took a local program, corporate wellness program. I turned it into a product. Now these days it's digital. Back then we were printing manuals and sending them out. And but you just go with the times. I became known for something. So that, what I can look back on 13 years ago, what launched me into the industry, into speaking at IDEA, into speaking for URSA and all these other places, what got my name out there with credibility with other trainers is that I had something of value to them. I packaged it up and sold it and coached them through it. So that slide there is showing you that I created a program called the Corporate Challenge. I created it into a product that I sold, and I started speaking on it. I've done about 250 talks on the Corporate Fit Challenge at this point.
That is awesome. And I remember those days when you were creating that. And guess how she created that? A lot of it was because the people who were investing in that were asking questions. And the more questions they asked, that was only giving her feedback on how she could serve her community better. Whether your community is in the brick and mortar or whether your community is in a personal brand or product or program. As a matter of fact, right now, we've got close to 100 people on this right now, by the way. Can you please in the chat box, I want to know, are you a solopreneur? Like you're a one-person show at a training studio? Or do you work for a club or studio? Or are you an owner or manager? I'd love to see that in the chat box right now, because as I'm speaking to you and as Trina and I are coaching you right now, I'd love to know where are you at in your walk, because maybe you have multiple hats. I wear multiple hats, right? I own a studio, I lead a studio, but then I have programs and products and coaching groups and all of that as well. So each of them has unique teams that's taken years and years to develop. But here's the bottom line, and it's what I tell my team at Fitness Quest 10 all the time. I think over the last 2 years, especially in the last 4 months, there's been this evolution of building your personal brand, and it's changed a lot. But here's what I would say, and we've got 35 teammates. Hey, I'm all for our entire team growing your personal brand. As a matter of fact, I can help you, but you always got to feed the mothership. You always got to feed the mothership. You got to make sure that you take care of the battleship, that you can make sure that you feed that, and it's not just about you, because the mothership, the club or the studio provides, if it's a brick and mortar shop, provides a community and an environment in which you can prosper and manifest your dreams. So the club or studio can serve you, but you've got to serve the studio as well. Together, I believe now the collaboration between the individual / teammate / employee is really a beautiful thing. But it's when we get apart and you're running your own thing and you're not feeding the mothership and the mothership's not feeding you, that there becomes some polarity. And Trina has done an amazing job in her career, and not only running Bay Athletic Club and Urban and her own coaching group, but marrying this, and most important, always celebrating her people, regardless of the program, the product, the brick and mortar or not, regardless of what it is. And I see you guys right now typing in your titles. Thank you very much. It helps us make sure we know who we're speaking to, because there's many ways that you can create success, but success is your success. Success is based on your purpose. Success is based on what significance do you want. And let me remind you right now, as I record this live in July 2020, you can be listening to this again in a year from now, and 3 years from now. The principles that you hear today are going to continue to serve you in 3 years from now, because when you serve your people unconditionally and you provide value for them, then great things are going to happen. And right now is a time to serve like never before. Right now is a time that we've got to give like never before. So this is great stuff. I love the comments coming through. Trina, let me just move to the next one, because I love this one, finding your tribe.
Yeah, so let me explain this. When you have a personal brand, again, you can decide to grow your influence and your impact to reach consumers. Or Fit Pros, I want to suggest that you can create a personal brand to help others in the industry, to help your peers. That's the very unique niche that I have taken to build a personal brand. So I wasn't looking to be a famous celebrity trainer. I was looking to be known and an expert in our industry. So example one of my personal brand was creating a program or product to serve the industry. Now that Corporate Fit Challenge on that last slide has been sold in France, Japan, Bahamas, all across the United States. One small program from Alpina is worldwide because I created a personal brand and a product. Now I saw that niche, Todd, and I liked it. So about 12 years ago, so a year after the Corporate Challenge, I was like, I like this idea of a personal brand, of taking things I'm good at in my club and serving and selling and creating them for trainers. So this other part of my business was born out of this concept of how do I serve more in the industry and grow my income and my impact. So I founded an online coaching team through a company called Team Beachbody. I decided to help trainers way back before we needed online coaching. I started helping trainers coach people online from anywhere using their own expertise and their own coaching with some Beachbody programs and products. I got this idea from you, really. You have also partnered with other great brands like California Almonds, like TRX, like Under Armour. You've worked with other great brands to leverage your reach. So I worked with Beachbody and I started creating another tool or service for fitness professionals, which was helping women in fitness have more time with their family, less time in the trenches by taking their expertise and coaching online. So the way I grew this part of my business was not through me creating a physical product that I sell, but it was through me creating a team. It was through me creating a mastermind group of other women in fitness who want to coach online. How do I find these women? There's a picture of my leaders right there. There's 100 leaders on my team. I've got thousands of women that have helped over the years on my team. There's 100 of them that I met up with out in Philly last year as a training. I find them these days on Instagram mostly, and I find them by being really specific about who I'm looking for. So in that slide, Todd, a tool I created for my coaching team is called Find Your Tribe. And I have the women that I'm working with write down details about their life, like what matters to them in their health. Maybe it's strong, not skinny, or maybe it's half marathon runner for life, or Pilates instructor for life, like unique things about your views of health or love in relationships. Maybe you're a mom of twins or a mom of toddlers. Like what things make you unique? What are some of the activities that you like? What are some of your values and lifestyle that you like? Things that make you really unique. What brands do you follow? Authors, speakers, other trainers, what brands do you follow? So from here, I help my team find women like them that they would like to work with. So this is how I have grown my team with like-minded women, is I look for other women who like Pilates, who like paddleboarding, who are entrepreneurial, who want to have their own income, who are looking for debt-free, who are looking for an upgraded lifestyle. I can easily find the women I want to coach and train by using this kind of Find Your Tribe tool. And to my personal brand.
No, keep going.
Just to clarify that the personal brand, I want to make sure everybody knows what options are available to you. I created a local program. I turned it into a product. I put it on a website and I sold it, right? Pretty cut and dry. This one is I created a network marketing company based around online health and fitness. It's a mastermind group, also just serving other fitness professionals. So my personal brand has stayed in the fitness industry, and I've been able to grow my reach, grow my income, grow my lifestyle by serving others in the industry.
I think right now, as a lot of trainers and coaches have pivoted, even into the virtual world, which we'll talk about a little bit here today, as well as tomorrow in tomorrow's webinar, part 4. But I think the bottom line is this: how are you serving them and what are you doing? And when you look at coaching, over the next 3 years, people are going to need coaching. Your trainers, your clients, your members need more than just the actual physical experience of the Zoom workout or the Facebook Live workout or the actual live workout you're doing at the studio. They actually need a lot of coaching, accountability, know-how right now. And that encompasses many different factors, everything all the way down to the texting of them on a regular basis, to the inspiration, touching their heart on all of those aspects. Matter of fact, some great comments coming through here in the chat room. So thank you very much. Keep the chat coming on this. And Heather Fahrenkrog, Heather, thanks for this. She's a solopreneur working on developing a personal brand. I want to start speaking more. So how do you speak more, guys? You speak more. Wait a second. Wait a minute, Todd. What do you mean you speak more? Yeah, I once had a coach say this. Todd, you want to speak more? Speak more. Speak to anyone who will listen to you for free. Go on live on Instagram, Facebook every day, because guess what? You're speaking. You have an audience. Go to your church, go to your local communities and speak, because guess what? Every time you speak, you should have your phone or a videographer with you. You tape, you record that, and you keep getting that out. That's developing your brand, whether it be a personal brand or whether it be you're bringing them back into the studio, whether you're open now or not. You eventually will be. So these are great points, and Trina has done an amazing job with both her personal brand as well as her brick and mortar brand. By the way, Alpena, Michigan, what are there, 30,000 people in Alpena, Michigan?
Yeah, in the county.
In the county. In the county. How many employees do you have, Trina?
Around
part-time and full-time altogether.
Yeah, same as you, between 35 and 40.
Okay. So again, managing both of those different types of brands as well on that. So how do you start your business brand?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking business brand right here, folks. I'm actually talking even with the brick and mortar for us. It all started with, who am I serving? Now, I believe in the beginning, you don't know who you're serving. I started like this. I don't know who I'm serving. I just want to help people. I'll help anybody. I'll help grandmas, grandpas, kids. It doesn't matter. But after a while, you start to develop a little bit of a niche of who you love to serve. Who's the ideal client that I love serving? Who's the person that really brings me the most joy, that when they have a transformation of their body, mind, and soul, or they watch a product, watch a program, or they're in a program, that they prosper and you see the transformation and you see their life blossom on that. So who is your ideal client? I call that your avatar. Who's your avatar that you're going after? And what problem do you solve for them? Because you can have the best business in the world, but if it doesn't solve people's problems, it's probably not going to be a great business. If you want to be a millionaire, find $1 million solution to a question that everybody has. Like, you've got to find the biggest, most pain-producing problems and then have a solution to that. And right now, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of anxiety. There's depression. There are people who are downtrodden. There's kids who are not going to be able to go to school this fall, and they're going to be stuck at home, and they need to exercise and work out. I don't care if it's virtually. I don't care if it's in the park. There's a problem there. Aha! There's a problem. What does that say? Light bulb moment, light bulb moment. There's an opportunity to capitalize on that. You have the platform, you have the program. What's the people like? I talked about that in the first two webinars, right? The first two, go back. You're going to get a recording of this, because if you're signed up, you're getting a recording next week. But what are the 6 Ps, right? Your purpose, your people, all of these things on that. So, Trina, why don't you talk about that as well?
All right. So when I first opened my club 14 years ago, I knew that the people that I would relate to the most was working parents. So I didn't throw darts at the wall to start with. I started with a smaller niche and grew it out. So I started with working parents, and I'm going to make a pitch for this as your niche as well. If you're thinking about where you want to grow, this is why this has worked for me. Working parents are the ones who make the decisions for their aging parents and their teenage kids. So the problem that I solved for working parents in my community was many of them were working shift jobs, multiple jobs, juggling single homes, daycares, lots of things. I had to make fitness quick and convenient for them. Mm-hmm. I had to offer on-site daycare for them. I made our workouts 30-minute express workouts. I made them at convenient times, 7:30 at night after they've made dinner and help with homework. We did 6 in the morning before work. So I met them where they were, 12:15 lunch hour workouts. So I kicked off my business with a bang, truly. We were profitable off the bat. I know that that's not a bragging point. That is, I knew who I was serving and I talked to them. Mm. So I found these working parents in their workplaces, at soccer games and basketball games, and I sponsored all of the places I knew that working parents were going to be. The problem I solved for them, they had busy lives and they were putting themselves on the back burner. They had no energy left in their day. At the end of the day, for their family, they wanted to be better parents. They wanted to be better role models. And I spoke to that. Those people over time have brought me their aging parents, and they've brought me their youth athletes or high schoolers not in sports wanting to be fit. So through working parents, I've reached generations. And that is how I built my business brand.
Yeah. So right now, my friends, if you could actually write on a piece of paper, or if you have a notebook, who is your avatar? Write it down to the point of, what does she look like? How old is she? How many kids does she have? Or who is he? What does he do for a living? How many children? What kind of car does he drive? What's the socioeconomic status of them? All of these things, as you define it all the way down to when we quote market, when you market, including your social media, which platform are you using, which we're going to get into. If you're going after kids and you're using Facebook, you're probably using the wrong platform to attract kids. You might want to be on Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat for that. But if you're talking to the 45-year-old female with 2 kids, a dog, and drives a white minivan, you probably want to be on Facebook, where that's where we hang for Fitness Quest 10. Fitness Quest 10, we're after the 45 to 65-year-old male and female high performer, mom and dad within 5 miles, because you got to own within 5 miles of your community. If you don't own within 5 miles of your community, you're not going to have a good business. You've got to know your avatar. You got to go after your avatar. You got to serve your avatar, because when it comes to branding and marketing, you first have to know who you're talking to, who you're speaking to, because marketing is nothing more than sharing your story. Let me repeat, marketing is nothing more than sharing your story and how it can help serve people to get a solution to their problem. And right now we have a problem. We have a problem in all of our communities worldwide. I know we have people right now, I'm listening, I'm seeing in the chat room, we've got Australia, we've got Canada, we've got America, we've got about 12 different countries that I see right now from the names I'm seeing piping on in. Is this is a worldwide pandemic that we have, and guess what? There's opportunity. There's opportunity for me and you to impact positively because of the messaging that you're putting out on your social media, on your emails, all of the things. But you first have to dial into who are you speaking to? How do you start branding? You understand who you're speaking to on that, and you go out and you create that high impact content we talk about. Impact, right? Personal brand formula. Trina's got a formula that she's created. I love this. Again, she's spoken 19 times at my 19 mentorships. Trina, can you talk about your personal brand formula?
Yeah. So again, trainers, fitness professionals on the line, we're differentiating here between having a personal brand and a business brand, which is maybe your training community, your boot camp, your yoga business, and they're different. And here's why. On my personal brand, I'm promoting myself, my expertise, my uniqueness. I'm shining a light on what I can do to serve them, what I know that they need. So my personal brand formula is very different from the next slide you're going to see, which is my business local Fit Pro community. So let's go, sorry, Todd, let's go back. So on my personal brand, this is how I've grown it, mostly on Instagram. How do I find women who I can serve in the fitness industry? Okay. Now you can use this formula no matter who you want to serve. Maybe you've created something on our friend Robin that Todd and I know in the industry created something to help people have healthy knees while they're cycling, right? You could take something as niche and unique as that, or maybe you have something that you love to do on mindset coaching for youth athletes. That's our friend Andrew, right? Whatever your niche is, you can find those people, but here's how you talk to them. You can't sell on social media because you'll be annoying and people will disregard you. On social media, to be social, not to be so they don't mind purchasing or being a part of your community if you get permission. Here's how you get permission. You tell a story, you offer a solution, and you make an invitation. And I'll give you an example from my world. Again, I'm helping women in fitness have an online business. So my story is, hey, years ago, I was running ragged as an entrepreneur in fitness and working all hours of the day and night as a working mom. I knew there must be a better way. I decided to take back control of my career and stop teaching at 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., weekends. I decided to do some of my coaching online. Right? So my story was running ragged mom, little kids, have a passion for fitness, but was burning the candle at both ends, burning myself out. Solution, online coaching. I started coaching people all over the country, no matter where they lived. I didn't have to write all their workouts myself. I didn't have to write all their food plans. I partnered with a company that provided that for me, and I was able to take back control of my schedule and my life. Then the invitation. Hey, are you a woman who loves fitness, who is burnt out as well, and you want to take back control of your life and schedule? Work with me. Now, formula of story, solution, invitation can absolutely work for any niche that you want to have in the marketplace.
Okay, good. So that's the personal brand formula. Now let's take a look at your company brand formula. Right. Keep going.
Yeah. So in my business, I run it completely differently. And here's why. There's a little overlap on one of those things. One of those things is to tell the story. But the difference in my business, or we're calling it here company brand, my health clubs, I'm not the story. My certifications,
Preach.
my experience in the industry, my accolades, all the
Preach.
things that Todd said to you,
Preach.
my clients don't need to know that.
Preach.
My business brand is them, my
Preach.
clients, my
Preach.
members. So this is the difference. When I'm telling stories for my business, your training company, your personal training, your small group training, the YMCA where I see some of you working, the clubs that you work at, your brand is not you. In fact, you hide behind your members. So here's an example of something you can steal from me here. I have, for 14 solid years, built my business health club training brand on my client stories. I call them 60-second inspirations. You are welcome to steal that. I give it to you. I tell client stories every single Monday, round the year, all the way through the year. Every Monday night, I tell a 60-second story of one of my members. So the story that I'm going to tell you quickly is my friend Mike in the middle of the screen. He's the same age as I am. He's 44 years old. He's married. He has 2 girls the exact same age as my kids. I knew him on the soccer field 10 years ago, and he said to me, oh, my knees hurt, my back hurts, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, I know a place in town that could help you. Well, it took him a while to get there. His daughter ended up working for me at the health club. He ended up joining, peer pressure from his family. He joined. Mike and his wife quit smoking, down 30 pounds, no back pain, no knee pain, role models for their kids, playing beach volleyball, playing in a basketball league, completely different 44-year-old dad.
Wow.
All I need to do is tell stories like that, and my training business, fitness business will boom way more than me getting an award from IDEA, or way more than anything Todd's ever going to say about me. My clients want to hear their own success. They want to hear success from their peers, not from their trainer.
True that. Wow. And folks, did you hear what she said? 14 years of doing that every Monday night. That's called consistency. And that's the hardest thing in today's era, because we jump over here. Hey, that's a good idea. You're over there. 14 years of doing something and shining and spreading the spotlight on your people. One of the greatest mistakes that I probably learned early in my career was I spoke too much about myself. Can anyone relate? Like, I spoke about my football career and this and that because I was kind of uncomfortable with silence. And then I started hearing, as I grew, I was like, they don't care about my assholes when I was younger. And then I would hear, even now, I hear younger trainers talk about that. I actually coach them and say, listen, you had a great football career, a great soccer career. I love it. That's one of the reasons why you're here. But listen, they want to know, how can you help them? Right? What can you do to help them? It's with them, what's in it for me? It's what's in it for them. How can you as a coach, as a member of my team, help them? I love the fact with your background. That's why you're on the team. But make it about them. If you can make it about them and not about you, we could really establish and grow a great brand. So Trina Gray, guys, if you go to bayathleticlub.com, bayathleticlub.com, you'll see the videos, the constant galas that she has. There's no one in our industry, bar none, anywhere across the globe, I'll put her up, that celebrates her community like Trina Gray. It's not a mistake while she's a guest on today's program. It's because when we talk about marketing and branding, there's no one that markets and brands. Why? Because she celebrates her people, not only every Monday night, every single day, and has galas, was it every month or every quarter?
Oh, we do one huge one a year to celebrate all of our clients. Had great success stories. We do one huge one, and then we have celebration parties for our clients about every month. But if you go on my website, bayathleticlub.com, or our Facebook, Bay Athletic Club, you'll see the get to know my team once a week. You'll get to know the staff of the club. That's not why people come.
Yep.
They come because we tell the stories of our clients, people like Mike Jones here on the screen.
Okay, so let me ask you all a question. Where are you hanging out? Where are you hanging out, and where are your people hanging out? What's the avatar? I don't know. You choose. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it Twitter? LinkedIn? Is it podcasting? Like my podcast that I have, it's more the Todd Durkin podcast. Can you see that? It's not serving necessarily. It's not promoting just Fitness Quest 10, my brick and mortar. You've got to choose, where's your avatar hanging out. For my brick and mortar brand, it's Facebook. And for the personal brand, it's Instagram. It's podcasting for me personally. You choose where you want to hang out, and you've got to be great at that. Here are the rules, though. Regardless of where you want to hang out, you better be extraordinary. I want you to stand out. How can you stand out? What makes you BIW? What makes you the best in the world at what you do? Because there are unique gifts that you have at your studio, at your club, while you work at the Y or any of the other brands I see being piped in on the chat room here. You got to create that tribe, but you have to turn likes into names. How many times do you look at your Instagram post like, hey, I got 200 likes, I got 300 likes, I got 500 likes? It's not about that. It's about the names. So many of the people that are live right now, I recognize your name because we met potentially either at a live event or even on Instagram or Facebook. I know your name on that. Start to know your people on that. Create that connection. Get engagement going. And the consistency that Trina just talked about builds the trust that we all need. I don't care if it's your brick and mortar brand. I don't care if it's your personal brand. The bottom line is trust. And people have to know, not like, love and trust you. They've got to know, love, and trust you because of the value that you're providing on an everyday basis. And that's important. And along with that, nowadays, a lot of the work I do on the personal branding side is done on Instagram. As a matter of fact, I've got about 20 of your DMs probably in the last 45 minutes from this of y'all are DMing me because I like, hey, the DM. It all goes down in the DM. You know that song? It all goes down in the DM. Y'all know that song right there? Because there's so many communications in your personal brand. If your avatar is either the fitness crowd or the younger generation, right, 35 or below, there's a lot of folks who are on IG. Doesn't mean if you're older, you can't be on Instagram, but your avatar. I know my kids, I've got a 17, 15, and 12. They hang out on Snapchat and even TikTok. Okay, I don't have Snap and TikTok because that's not my specific avatar, but there are people on my team who have Snap and TikTok as well. You've got to find out where you hang out. I know Trina from talking to her Instagram, if you check her out, you got to make sure you follow her at Trina Gray on IG. Is a lot of your connection and engagement comes through the DM. So where are you hanging out? As a matter of fact, I guarantee if you DM me or Trina, I know I will get back to you within 24 hours because I get back to people on that. That creates that and fosters that engagement. Folks, if it's your brick and mortar brand, if it's your personal brand, you must connect. You must either pick up the phone, you must text them, you must connect. Because right now, people don't like dealing with robots, right? You got to make sure that you're connecting and picking up the phone so that you can increase your engagement. Well, increase your engagement, that means actually talking. How do you increase your engagement? Well, there's several different ways. Engaging through your personal brand. Trina, let's talk about engaging through your personal brand. How do you do that?
Right. So earlier in the presentation, Todd, we talked about how to grow your personal brand on Instagram, even just a simple example of following hashtags of things that you have in common with other people, whether it's something in the fitness industry, whether that's a brand that you follow, a speaker you follow, an author you follow. So you've gotten more eyeballs on your personal brand, on your Instagram or on your Facebook. You've gotten more eyeballs. Now, what do? You have to get them to talk to you. Exactly what you were just saying. You have to get them to go from scrolling through your content to messaging you or responding. Some simple ways I do that on my personal brand is to say things that matter. When you say things that matter, people will like it and will unfollow, and that is my goal. If I want to narrow my audience to the people I want to serve, I have to say something that they're going to be like, yep, I like her voice. I resonate with her. I get her. Or nope, not my tribe, not my thing. And that's okay. My job as a leader in the industry and as a female entrepreneur is not to be the most liked. It's the person that is going to say something that matters, the person that's going to find her tribe, that finds voices of people that resonate with my own. I'm not trying to be so bland that no one's ever going to dislike me. That's not my goal.
You mean there's people that don't like you because of things you say?
Yes, I know you're being facetious there. I hear you. But you too, Todd. Like, I know you've been there.
No doubt.
You know what? Like, that's what I say. And in fact, in a post I did yesterday, I said, you can like this or not like this, and either one is okay with me. I don't want to be vanilla all the time. Now, I don't mean that I need you to light a fire with really hot button issues. I'm asking you to just say things that matter to you and your family and your views of the world and the way that you see health and fitness and anything that matters to you, be willing to share. Don't be vanilla. Don't be bland. So say things that matter. Be personal and social and not salesy. So that, again, I'm always sharing a story, even if I have a program or an internship or mentorship or a coaching program that I'm inviting to, I'm still doing it through a story. I tell people how to engage with me. Something as simple as, if you read this and it spoke to you, if this stirred up butterflies in your stomach, so they're deciding, did I read this? Did it speak to me? Right? Then send me a DM or fill out the application in my bio. So my business goes from me finding people on social media that I have something in common with, saying things that matter, and directing them to fill out an application to work with me. That's a really pretty simple funnel that I have that didn't require a ton of systems to set up. So I have an application to work with me. I have things that matter on my social media to help people decide, do I like her views of being an entrepreneur, financial freedom, debt-free, set your own schedule? Do you like that or do you not? Right? I let people decide. So clear calls to action. Send me a message, fill out an application in my bio. Did you read this? Did it speak to you? So that's what I'm talking about with your personal brand.
Absolutely. Guys, we've got 10 minutes left, and we're gonna get through all of this, but I want to make sure that you have a chance to ask your questions. Keep your questions coming in here, because in about 10 minutes, we're going to be hitting these questions real good, because if we can't answer your question, then I can't help you maximally. So engaging through your business brand. Keep it going, Trina.
So this is simple. Engaging in my business brand is keeping the spotlight that we talked earlier on my clients, giving them recognition and giving them ways to talk to us. So I gave this exact example. You guys can steal this one. It's been great for me this year. Those of you note takers that want to take something tangible to go do tomorrow, we did something called the 2020 challenge. We've done it several months so far this year. We are asking our clients to get in 20 days of perfect hydration. So for us, that's half their body weight in water, 20 days of perfect hydration, and 20 workouts, whether that's live at our gym when we're open or virtual on our online fitness platform, 20 workouts with us and 20 days of perfect hydration. Now, every day of January, we did this in March, we did this again in June. We have them just comment below a post that looks just like that. It's Thursday. It's the 25th day of June. They comment below, they got in their water, they got in their workout, they can attach a picture if they like. Now, all these 100 people did this challenge, Todd. And then we did this cool drawing for an up north camping prize. You see my manager, Laura, drawing a prize. And our friend Amy Faircloth, one of my clients who was spot on her nutrition and her workouts in June, won it. So how do you engage in your business brand? Give them something to do. Simple accountability challenges go a long way. They're inexpensive, easy. They don't require a staff. You can do it on your own, be clear about it, and get people involved in your business. That's one simple way I do it.
So by engaging folks through your brand, by engaging people, it's all about the people, you can build your community. By building your community, there starts to be this network, this mesh of people that build relationships. And that's something you can't replace, is the relationships. So how the heck do you build your brand? And again, I don't care if it's your personal brand or not. Answer these two questions, please. What do you want? What do you want from your brand? I mean, you literally, if you write that down on your paper now, what do you want from your brand? And why? Why do you want that from your brand? So what do you want from your brand and why? And then what are you going to do once you achieve what you want? So what do you want from your brand? Why? And what are you going to do once you achieve what you say you want? Because that goes back to your purpose. Why? Because when you brand, I look at my personal brand. Okay, I've got the books. I've got my mastermind. Okay, on the personal side, Trina's got her coaching group. But I want to know for you, with your personal brand, at your studio. You work for a studio, you probably have a little bit of brand. People love you. They adore you. You're a great Pilates instructor or massage therapist or trainer. You're developing a following. And maybe you're listening to people right now and you're creating a meditation program, or you have your online program that you're building. Maybe you can even do that through your corporate business brand as well, right? In your business brand at Fitness Quest 10, we have a private Facebook group, my Fitness Quest 10 Connect, a private Facebook group where our team and I really immerse our time and energy to serve our people. Guess what that does? That fosters the community. The community is strengthened, and even despite just yesterday, we said no indoor training right now. Guess what? We're out there right now, and we've got our canopies up, and we're training outside. We got like Venice Beach and Scripps Ranch, San Diego right now because, like, guess what? Our community is so strong. Branding is about community and building that community in all that you do. Same thing with Trina right here at Bay Athletic Club and Urban, right? Trina, how many people are you getting in your virtual studio? In the last 3 months you built this up, are you getting how many people typically to your hybrid model now in your virtual side?
So on our virtual side, we created Zoom workouts on a private link just for members and a private Facebook group called the BAC Campground. Look at what we called it, your virtual studio and a healthy hangout. So the BAC Campground kind of fits our Northern Michigan vibe. We serve 800 check-ins per week just in our virtual studio. 800 check-ins per week just in our virtual studio. This is 25 virtual classes a week. Now we're in this hybrid model of some live workout, some virtual. So talking about engaging your tribe, in our BAC Campground private Facebook group just for our active clients, and members, this is a place for us to do more than just the workout, right? This is a place for us to talk nutrition. We showed up every single day during quarantine. Every single day. We showed up with a 5-minute workout for them. We showed up every single day with cooking tips, meditations, reading our favorite books to them. We called it More for Members. Steal that. We called it More for Members because I said, hey, you guys, how do we offer more to our members? Hey, let's do a segment called More for Members every single day for 90 days. We showed up on that page and did cooking demos from our own households. We read out of books. We did meditations with them. We did stretching with them. Right. So this is how we are engaging our tribe and keeping people active in their memberships when they weren't getting to be at the gym and this is going to be a long time until people get everything they're used to. So we had to provide more value. The post that I use as an example, Todd, is I'm not afraid to talk to my clients in this private group where they feel more open. I talk to them about their mental health. I talk to them about the feeling of overwhelm, of the unknown. I shared podcasts with them that I thought that they could benefit from. So engaging in my business brand is talking more than fitness. It's talking mental health, meditation. I sat outside by a tree one day and just read from a book. So you find unique ways to meet them where they're at. So our private Facebook group and our virtual workouts is a way that we've been engaging our business brand.
Love it. Guys, I got 5 minutes. What do you do right now? Because I'm going to drop some heat. The last few minutes, I'm going to drop some heat. What do you do right now is stand up, shake it out, get ready to rock and roll because you're going to need some energy for the last few minutes. So shake it out, get your sip of water. You want to, put a few almonds, like 7 almonds in your mouth right now and start chopping away because I'm going to drop it right now. Get ready to rock and roll. So hold for your energy for the last, now down to 4 minutes. And then I'm going to go Q&A. So keep dropping the Q&A is this. Folks, you keep hearing about social media, building your brand. What do you need to do about connection and people? All of the things are absolutely essential. Let me throw a little monkey wrench in your plan because I believe in some of the fundamentals, some of the things that I think both Trina and I do pretty darn well, and I think it's a staple that not enough people are doing right now because not everyone loves social media, not everyone's on social media. As a matter of fact, at Fitness Quest 10, although we use social media really well, and even at my corporate side, many of you received even learning about what we're doing with California Almonds through an email. Yeah, I want to talk emails, and let me give you the 911 real quick about this. Email marketing is not dead. We typically get about 20% open rate. In the 20% open rate with an email, after we send an email out, we then, if no one opens an email, 20% open it, the other ones don't, we send it back within a day with a different subject line. Another 10 to 15% open it. Now all of a sudden we have 30 to 35% open rate. The subject line matters a lot. Keep your copy. It's about stories, as Trina mentioned, and about being heart-centric. Don't sell through your emails. People read the PS. So I typically have subject lines and I have little headlines, 3 bullet point emails that are headlines on that. So when you see an email from me, I want to make sure there's value in that email. Value, value, value. And then look at the analytics. What are the open rates? Send that second email. What are the open rates? And then have a CRM system, whether it be MailChimp. We use Infusionsoft, sometimes called Confusionsoft, Zendesk, Kajabi, whatever it may be. Find it and then play with the subject lines on this. And if you're like, oh my gosh, TD, you're going too fast, this is crazy. Don't worry. You get this entire PowerPoint presentation and webinar just because you are here live now or later via recording because you signed up. So you're going to get all of this. Now, what should you do? When I do an email, hint, hint, because you're here live, I'm telling you, when I do an email, I then blog my emails, and the blog gets put into my social media. So now I wrote it. It takes 20 minutes to write the email. That email typically is blogged. The blog gets uploaded to the Facebook on that, or you have a link, because that link now allows you to use text messaging, which is, as you know, I don't care if you're 28 or you're 78. Like, I've got folks in their 70s and 80s that come to Fitness Quest 10 that do not use social media, but they do use email and they do have a phone. I was actually connecting with Pastor Jeremiah this morning, one of my clients, Pastor David Jeremiah. I was texting with him today about what it takes right now to keep moving forward. 81% of smartphones, 13% have mobile. 98% of text messages get read within 2 minutes. Folks, you need to be using texting to take your tribe, to take your community and keep them together right now with knowledge, with experience, with education, with motivation, and with inspiration. So we'll link out some links to my podcast message, or if Trina had a podcast message and I really liked it, I would share that with my community. That's collaboration. Hey, if we're going live right now on Instagram or Facebook, I'll text out to my few thousand people on my text messaging list and say, hey, I'm live now talking about what it takes to be great with your nutrition or with your mindset or whatever it may be. Guess what? Instead of having 4 people on, there might be 40 people on, because they got it, read it, and it's all through the phone. So text messaging is a really important aspect right now. And if you got questions on any of this, I know there's a lot. I told you that we're bringing 3 hours of content in 1 hour. But text messaging, you have all of this here. I'm a huge believer in it. The last 2 years, I've used text messaging all the way back from my Dose of Durkin to my Mind Right Maniac series to my podcast. If you're signed up right now, if you go to toddurkin.com and you sign up, guess what? You probably get a text message on Mondays and Thursdays that have my actual link. It makes it very simple for you while you're out for your walk, you're out for your run, to actually get that as well. And lastly, and then I'm going to open up for Q&A, Trina and I have both made some social media and digital media mistakes. I know I've made probably more than her, but let me share a couple of mine. A couple months ago, I actually went live, and then I didn't turn the live off after it was over, and it was sitting right here in my office, and I'm like, having fun in the house, and I'm yelling at the kids, and we playing around. The live was on. Guess what? People stayed on. I don't know if that's a mistake or not, but I also hate when, like, an email, there's mistakes in it. Have other eyes proofread your copy, right? Because if you're not good at that, or you don't enjoy that, have other eyes on that. I've had texts go out. I'm live right now. They were misscheduled and I wasn't live. I'm like, I got through my phone, hey, I'm live now. I'm like, no, I'm not. Right? So, and then the other one is just, I wish I would have started podcasting earlier. I love doing the podcasts. I don't know if it's a mistake. I wish I would have taken action earlier on podcasting, because I enjoy it. It's reaching a lot of people, not just trainers and fit pros, but consumers who are trying to get their minds right as well. Trina, have you made any mistakes in social media?
Oh, I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I think I will just point to something I said earlier today to bring this point home, that earlier in your career, earlier in your desire to have a personal brand or a business brand, don't be afraid to have a niche. I think when I was first growing, I was afraid if I didn't serve everyone, that I wouldn't make it. And I found over the years, by being more specific, serving working parents in my business, serving women in fitness who want online freedom, by being more niche in my market and talking to those people, it's okay that I'm not serving everyone. I'm serving my niche in the best way I can. So I think a mistake earlier in my career was trying to be everything for everyone. In my club, trying to serve kids as much as I was serving parents, I just decided, be really great where you are, and don't be afraid of having a niche. So on your social media, in your business, in your branding, don't be afraid to differentiate yourself and be narrow in your focus.
Hey, Trina, kudos to you, because you've always done an amazing job at that. Trina's always talked about being narrow and focused, and she's done an amazing job at that. And I want to make sure you all understand, when I'm talking about email marketing and text marketing and social media, you may want to choose 1 to 3 of them. If you choose all of them, like I have most of them, I have a team, folks. I have a team of people that helps me. It's taken years to develop that team. It takes time to develop that team. Please don't feel like I got to be like Todd or I got to be like Trina. It takes years and years of hard work and investment and learning and these things. I think the most important thing is understanding your avatar and then where are you going to really hang your hat and why? Why should you do all this? Number one, if you want to scale your impact, like I'm born to impact people. My goal in life is I want to impact 10 million people. And whatever it takes, I have a vision to do that. That's what gets me vertical in the morning is like, that's what I do. Okay, then I need to be podcasting. I need to be writing books. I need to be on live. I need to be doing those things. I feed off of your energy right now on this webinar right now. But also when you choose one or two or three of these things, or you decide to do more and to grow a team, you grow your business, you grow your profits. With more profit, you can then reinvest and help more people and do great things with that so that you can scale your impact. That's why I do the things that I do so that ultimately I can do that. And even right now in this tumultuous time, it's very important you keep your eyes on your vision. My friends, right now, this is the time to keep your eyes on your vision. Yes, it'll help you when it comes to if you have other relationships, like I have relationships or I've had relations with some of these companies right here. Guess what? It always comes down to, hey, not what can you do for me? It's me asking, how can I serve you? How can I help you move the needle? What can I do to get the message out? Heck, California Almonds right now, who's powered this entire 4-part webinar series, and the last one's coming up tomorrow. Be there, is this. Oh, y'all know I've been promoting almonds for years. I eat almonds all day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. My protein shakes, it's like almond milk, almonds. It's just a natural evolution. Find out what you love and then help people get where they want to go, and it always comes back as well. And then I leave you with this, and then we'll wrap it up with the questions. You've heard me talk about it before, my friends. When it comes to branding and marketing and scaling your impact, live a life worth telling a story about. What's your story? You know, Trina talked about putting the spotlight on other people. I'm going to challenge each and every one of you when it comes to branding. It's just, who are you? What do you want to achieve in life? And we're right now in the midst of this pandemic, or if you're listening to this later on, you're listening to the rerun year after year, month after month, whatever it is know this. You have gifts inside of you that are special. And it's your responsibility, it's your duty as a life transformer, as a trainer, as a group exercise instructor, as a coach, right now to tap into that spirit and to remind yourself of who the heck you are and why you're here listening to this right now as you listen in. And then to go share that with the world, because after all, live a life worth telling a story about. What's your story? You do have a life worth telling a story about. I want to know your story. Trina wants to know your story. And more importantly, the world needs to know your story. So thank you for joining me today. I'm going to get to these questions. Trina Gray, thank you for dropping so much wisdom today. You rock. I love you. You do such amazing work all over the place.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I hope that people picked up. It doesn't take 10 pages of notes to change your business. It takes one tip put into action. So if it was something we shared on telling your story, making the spotlight on your clients, getting it in, going down in the DMs, whatever it was for you today, I hope that you take that and go do something with it. The accountability challenges I do with my clients, something that spoke to you, getting more narrow on your Instagram. Morgan, the answer to your question is yeah, absolutely. You could start a private Facebook group for clients and start creating your own thing, start creating your own fitness business there. I have a lot more I could say on that. I know we don't have a ton of time. If you want to send me a DM, I can explain a little bit more about what that could look like. But I love how you're thinking entrepreneurial here and looking for ways to reach people. So Todd, I really appreciate the opportunity and the honor to be on. If there's any other branding questions, we'd love to take them.
Yeah. Question from Lori Jorgensen. Lori, I'm glad you got on today. I appreciate you being here. Long time, Lori. I appreciate you. Again, part 4 is coming up tomorrow. What systems do you use for text messaging, Todd? I actually have 2. Thank you, Arturo, for going full screen. I have 2 different services that I use right now. There are other ones out there. The one I've used the longest is offdaytrainer.com, offdaytrainer.com. The other one is called Anomaly, Naamly, Anomaly. I've been using that throughout the pandemic because I hit my mastermind group with Anomaly, and I hit my Fitness Quest 10 community with close to 500 people in that text group. That it's personal. If I was to text you, it's a 9-digit number. It's not a short code. You can actually text back 500 people. I put it out. If someone texts back, I actually get it, and I can respond on my my computer. So I'm really enjoying that, because with my mastermind group of a couple hundred fit pros that are right now scrambling, pivoting, looking for vision, I'm using Nominally, and I've also used the offdaytrainer.com as well. So good question, Lori, as well. So what other questions do we have here? It's one more. We have a number of senior clients between 60 to 85. Any suggestions to reach this population, as many do not use social media? Yeah, Facebook. A lot of that age category are on Facebook because they want to actually connect with their kids and grandkids around the country, as far as that. And also email. Again, I was talking about Pastor Jeremiah earlier, so email certainly does work. The bottom line is this: when a senior comes into your studio, if it's a brick and mortar location, man, it's all about how you make someone feel. It doesn't matter if you're 80 or if you're 20. It's about how you make someone feel, right? And that attention, that detail, how you call people by their name and how you make them feel. This is a really important aspect for anybody, but especially for the senior crowd as well. I relocated to a new area, and I'm wondering how to start an online virtual health coaching business with no contacts, just a couple of now they're all coming. Just a couple of parents and my kids are friends with. Fantastic. Start with those people. The parents who have kids. On that, and then spread it like wildfire through word of mouth. The bottom line is, if you're good at what you do and you go out there and you speak about it and you ask people for referrals. One of my mentors, Wayne Cotton, said this when I was starting Fitness Quest 10 about marketing and branding. This is old school tactics. Like old school, like shaking hands. I would say shake hands and kiss more babies. It's like, the bottom line is, if you want a referral, nowadays you have to ask for a referral. You have to ask for a referral, meaning like, everyone's so busy right now that if you're looking to grow your business, like everyone is always looking to grow their business, if you ask, hey, right now I'm looking for more clients, if you know anyone that right now amidst all this that has so much stress that I could help them with, I would love that opportunity. So Trina, what do you got on that?
I'm answering Tim's question down here too. So my question for Craig was, are you looking to serve local or virtual online? If you don't have any local contacts, you're not looking to serve local people, my answer is different. If you want to start an online virtual business and you don't have any local contacts, okay, cool. Let's start building your tribe on Instagram or Facebook. Like, who is it that you're wanting to serve? What problem are you solving for them? What is it you want to do for them? If you want to do something local and you're a certified trainer and you don't have any contacts, I would absolutely offer to get out to local businesses and just go old school and do some free lunch and learns. Go in and talk to them about fitness tips, nutrition tips, meal prepping tips. I just pounded the pavement. I went to local businesses and shared tips, shared all kinds of things. So if you want to do local, you got to pound the pavement local. If you want to do virtual, then just keep your door shut, stay at your house, and get online and go find people online. So two totally different answers depending on if, it doesn't matter if you don't know local people, if you're wanting to serve online, it doesn't matter where they live. So let me know a little bit more clearly what you're trying to do there.
Yep. And what marketing thing do you wish you would have used sooner? Tim asked. And Tim actually won the Almonds from webinar number 1. So Tim, congratulations to you on that. They're going to be gifted away to one of Tim's clients or members on that. I guess, I don't know about sooner. Again, I said podcast. I wish I would have started my podcast sooner, although everything has perfect timing. But I guess I'd say that I was an early adopter to Twitter, and I actually just recently started doing Twitter. I do Twitter chats now and that. But depending on who you're targeting, a lot of athletes use Twitter, a lot of news use Twitter as well. So I think that's a good one. If someone needs help with public speaking, yes, a great organization is Toastmasters to get out in your community. It's great for networking as well, because networking and speaking, you can serve local organizations also on that. So I think, Georgia, that's a great point about Toastmasters. And there are speaking coaches. And again, I've got several different folks I know, not only in this industry, but folks who can help you. The best way to practice speaking is to speak. So make sure you speak more. And where should you speak? Speak at your studio, speak at your club, and what you can do on that. Kara Beltran, thanks for the question. Ask software used for email blasts. Trina, what do you use for software for your email blasts?
Okay, I'm up answering another question right now. So on the text blast, we use Send Hub. I put that up there. And for our email blast, we're still using Constant Contact. So they've upgraded their systems. We like it. It integrates with our online platform for client management. So we're using Constant Contact and Send Hub. Those are two platforms that we use.
I'm going to ask you the question verbally in a second from Sid Kells, but I'm going to first answer that as far as software used for email blasts. Again, I shared some inside the program here, but we also use Infusionsoft for our emails. It's definitely a more robust system that has autoresponders and allows us to communicate with many people. I wouldn't necessarily start with that, and I think Constant Contact is great. And as far as our CRM, you may use MindBody. MindBody Online is something, even they have now a text option as well for that. So Trina, let's focus on Sid. I want to answer this question because it's a great one. Completely starting a new career in training. Best tips for me starting for finding clients when I don't have a lot of connections in the field yet. Any advice for new trainers for gaining clients would be awesome, besides what we already shared.
Yeah, so Sid, I mean, to answer the question, you do have to go back to the roots. You got to go back to the foundation of who do you want to help. So you don't have to have contacts in the industry. You've got yourself, you're your brand, you're going to get out there and help people. But I could tell you to go to a workplace, but what if you don't want to help working parents? I could tell you to go to the soccer field, but maybe you don't want to work with youth athletes. Like, who do you want to help? Decide who you want to. Do you want to help like new moms with their like body transformation and weight loss and getting their energy and their body back and their life back? Like, then you have to start posting about those things, writing about those things, meeting those people in your community, making connections with places where new moms are served. So the foundation of all marketing has to come from who do you want to help? Who do you want to help? Craig online. Who do you want to help? Sid in your local community. Who do you want to help? Where are those people? You don't have to go everywhere. If you want to help seniors, go offer to do lunch and learns at a church. If you want to help youth athletes, go to the soccer field, basketball field, hand out flyers in the stadium, in the seats. You want to help working parents, go to the schools, go to banks, insurance companies, local coffee shops, go hand out flyers about your training. Go to where they are.
Yeah. I'm going to end with this. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to hit Trina up or myself up, and I'd be more than happy. I'm always looking for questions like this, by the way, for my podcast. So feel free to hit me up, again, at Todd Durkin, at Trina Gray, at California Almonds as well. Tag us. But I want to answer this because here's how I'm going to say it, Sid, is if you're new, number one, thank you. Thank you for coming to this field. There's nothing that'll light you up when you can change someone's life. So if you are a purpose-driven man or woman, this field, man, there's nothing more just fulfilling than being a coach and a life transformer. So thank you for being a coach and trainer, and welcome to the industry. Whether you're new or you guys are industry veterans, thank you for continuing to learn, because learning never, ever stops, right? And let me tell you what, there's no manual right now other than this 4-part webinar series to actually help you navigate through the craziest time of our world's history. And hopefully this serves as some value to you. And please spread this like wildfire on your social media, and even help promote tomorrow's 4th webinar, my last one, about how to operate the hybrid system as well. But what I would say is this, folks, answer this question, because Trina and I have talked about this a lot over, 13 plus years, is this. My question to you is, what are the 5 things that light your soul up? What are the 5 things that light your soul up? Write them down. Write the 5 things that light your soul up. What are they? For me, I love to write, I love to speak, I love to lead, I love to train, and I love family time. Now, when I pour myself, at least 80% of my time, I pour into things that light me up. And I get lit up, guess what? I light up the people I serve. To answer your question, who should you serve? I believe, this is my own personal opinion, 25 plus years of experience, by the way, is in the beginning, serve as many people as you possibly can. Serve as many people as you possibly can, and your niche will evolve. Listen, I didn't pick my niche in working with NFL quarterbacks and Major League Baseball players. Although I was an athlete, I do believe this. I love working with athletes. I've always loved working with athletes. I am an athlete. And because when I was working with athletes, all of a sudden, my energy all of a sudden started going that way. And they almost selected me because my energy was probably a little bit different. I believe where your attention goes, your energy flows. So as you give to everybody, the universe will give back to you. So I just say this for each and every one of us today on this marketing and branding call is marketing and branding is sharing your story. It's serving unequivocally right now like never, ever before. And Trina, I want to say thank you for being here today. Any final words, Trina, because we're going to wrap this up. We got way over and then some. So thank you.
No, I love all the questions. I love the energy that was on the line today. I know that we are in the best industry on the planet. I know that there's never been a better time to be in fitness. I know that health and fitness will never go out of style. It's not a fad, and I applaud you for being in this industry, and I'm excited to serve with Todd alongside of you as our peers.
There you have it. The one and only Trina Gray. Make sure you follow her on Instagram at Trina Gray. Don't forget to take a snapshot if you haven't done so already right now and tag at California Almonds. They're making this 4-part webinar series possible. We're going to be back tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Anyone get that? Bat channel, you know, Batman, back in the day on that. So at 12:30 on the West Coast, 3:30 on the East Coast. If you have not signed up, sign up now. If you go to todddurkin.com at the very top, talk about my manifesto and Fueling Fitness series by California Almonds. You're going to have a chance to sign up for that. It's free. Don't forget you get your 0.4 CEUs. Well, how do you get all this? Guys, after tomorrow, when it's all over, you're going to get all the reruns. You're going to get all of the handouts. You're going to get your 0.4 CEUs, all of these things as well. And also, we'll be choosing today's winner from today's webinar tomorrow first thing. So if you're here right now, you're going to want to be on tomorrow's episode to find out who won. And then once you win, you can gift it to whoever you want. You get almonds. They get almonds for a year. You pick a client. It could be random. You could make it a big deal that I'm giving away almonds for a year. Make it a celebration. Trina talked about it. Celebrate your people. Hey, I'm giving away almonds for a year thanks to the California Almond Board. Guess what that's called? Collaboration. Collaboration. So the California Almond Board, they're going to gift you it, and then you're going to make a big deal of it. You're going to market it. You're going to brand it. Say, guess what? I'm giving away one of you randomly almonds for a year, and that's a great gift. My friends, have an incredible day. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, same time, 12:30 West Coast, 3:30 East Coast, for another great part to this 4-part series. Trina, thanks so much. California Almonds, thank you so much. And most importantly, thank all of you for being here today. Peace and God bless.
Take care.